Howdy, welcome back. This update should be really quick. This is just for anyone who is not in the Animal Farm Telegram chats, and so you may not be seeing the updates from Forex Shark from the developer. And if you have pigs slash BUSD LP tokens, or you have pigs that are liquid, or you had them in any of the farms, if you had piglets already staked in the piggy bank, you shouldn't have to do anything with those, and you shouldn't be compounding those right now either until the swap to the version 2 pigs. But here is the developer's update today. If you're wondering when you can send those over to the new contract, he says the swap contract is done. This is Forex Shark, by the way. He says the swap contract is done, and he'll finish up the user interface in the next few hours. Knowing this developer, that could be a few hours. It could be, sometimes he's a little delayed on these things. He says we need to give some time for people to be able to swap in their V1 pigs and V1 pigs LP. I think he's setting some expectation there that I don't know what that time means. I would think that he should leave that swap open for at least a week or so to give everyone time who may not have known about the changeover, etc., to actually send their pigs in. Forex Shark says no one needs to do anything with their piglets. The pigs V2 and all of those related contracts are done. All the data is pulled from Piggy Bank. He says he's doing very well, working hard to get this done because there's so much more he wants to do after migration is complete. He goes on to say that it's going to be like a fresh start for everyone in the Piggy Bank. You will get piglets based on your deposits, and the distribution of piglets on these deposits will be based on a higher starting seed amount, similar to starting with a deeper liquidity pool. This means the price impact of initial buyers will be less, giving people who got in after a more fair distribution. And then we go live. So it sounds like that's the update. We're just waiting for Forex Shark to finish the user interface. I assume he's going to make a swap page similar to this one on the left, like the Redeem PL2, something like that, where you'll be able to just click to enable and then send your pigs in. So it doesn't sound like it will be a sketchy random wallet address. It'll actually be a user interface. Here's hoping, because that'll be a lot easier to trust and direct people to. And if that's anything to go by, that message, it should be within a few hours. We will see if he sticks to that, or if it's 4, 5, 6 hours or into the evening. I'm not certain. So there's your daily update regarding the piggy bank. Hopefully this gets resolved and swapped over soon so we can start using the piggy bank again and staking our little piglets, which would be nice. Even though this is all part of the DRIP ecosystem, because that's what kind of started it all, and even though the garden is kind of a similar mechanism without the time lock, but we know that the garden is based on DRIP, which has been dropping lately, and we expect it to do so until it reaches another good support, and then hopefully we have that cyclical type movement where it starts panning back up again, which I think we could see, and I'm still positive for that. I'm still compounding in the garden and waiting for that point. But the piggy bank is a similar mechanism with the addition of the time lock bonus to help you outpace any of that decay. And it's based on the pigs BUSD. So even though it's part of the same network, it is this other token, pigs, which may end up having a little more support, having all the farms and everything behind them. I think DRIP was built to have some of that extra support, especially with like the reservoir where you put BNB in and you get BNB out, and it's supposed to help kind of add a more solid floor for the bottom. But most people overlook this solution. I've heard more people talking about it recently. It sounds like if more people would participate in the reservoir, that the whole DRIP price wouldn't drop as low and could stay more stable for everyone. But this isn't really talked about. Everyone's mostly in the faucet. So on the animal farm side, maybe that support is made more obvious or easier for everyone to get into, because they're supporting they're getting dogs basically to then farm pigs. If people are playing the system the way it's probably intended, they should be trying to get more dogs to then get more pigs, which should help both of those tokens. And then of course in the piggy bank you have to have some dogs staked in the individual pool for it. to get any type of referral rewards. So that should help the price of dogs as well, and they kind of support each other in that way. So this will be interesting to see now that the piggy bank, once this gets resolved, the piggy bank can actually go live and again, and we'll see how it actually affects the price of those two tokens. And then we will also see if once people are time locked into the piggy bank, do they start kind of drifting more money back into DRIP, or does everyone, in the piggy bank side of the animal farm, do they decide that they don't want to play with DRIP anymore? We'll see. But I still think DRIP's gonna head its way back up after this deep dip that we're continuing on downward. Because we really it didn't spend very long on these other floors, these supports, kind of bounced off around like 55, and then rocketed up here really fast. So the more of the actual support is actually around, like, I would say these longer horizontal movements where right here it's around 20. Right here it's around 15. That seems to have a lot more weight to it because that's over half a month. It did dip down to around 7 there, but I don't know. I see a lot more support here if we're looking at charts rather than people thought it was going to pause at this 55, and it did for a moment. It was around there. I'm guessing because people bought in, they thought that was going to be the floor. But it seems like we're continuing on past that, broke through that resistance, and we're on the way down to likely these numbers here. So that's what I would expect. But it is a very steady trend downward, which I guess means people are claiming and selling more often than they are adding and compounding. But we have also seen some buys that aren't too small. I've seen some buys, but they're about half of what the sales are in total when you add those up. So getting a lot of sell-offs on the way down. And I'll cover some of that in a separate video. This was more about a piggy bank update, but I do so like to ramble. But we'll talk more about that price dripping and dropping, I should say, drip dropping, and kind of talk about where that's likely headed and where I am confident, or at least predicting, that it will end up before we swing back upwards. Which again, I'm not an expert on any of this. This is not financial advice for you. Definitely don't take my word for it. Use your own logic, reasoning, do your own research, and see what you think. Obviously, these people are doing their own research, and maybe no research at all, but they could just be panic selling on the way down, which makes sense. That happens in every single market. As there's a decline, there's people who have their average buy-in price somewhere along the way, and as it gets closer to each of those segments of investors who bought in at 47, bought in at 43, as it gets closer to those portions, those people are a good fraction of people who bought in at that price are going to panic sell off, whether it's warranted or not, because they see that price heading down and they don't want to lose the small gain that they did have. So I think that's going to happen no matter what. All right. You guys have a great day. Thanks for watching. I'll keep you updated on the piggy bank news as it comes down the pipe. Thanks for the likes and subscribes. See you on the next video.